Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to completely dismantle the way you were taught languages in school. We're tossing out that old, dusty curriculum and replacing it with the actual tactical playbook used by government operatives. We're talking about methods literally designed to make you mission capable in a brand new language in just a matter of months, not years. But right off the bat, let's address the elephant in the room. Ask yourself, why did 4 entire years of high school Spanish or French or German leave you totally unable to order a simple taco without pointing at the menu in a panic? Look, it's a super frustrating reality for a lot of us, but here's the secret. You aren't bad at languages. Actually, your brain is a literal language learning machine. The real problem, nobody ever taught you how language actually gets acquired in the real world. They just taught you how to pass a written test. Well, today we fixed that. So let's jump right into phase 1, the myth of fluency. We need to trade those vague goals for tactical missions. Here's the thing, to really shift your mindset, you have to realize that fluency is kind of a trap. It's this vague, overwhelming ocean of a concept that makes people just quit in week 2. Like, what does it even mean? Debating politics or just surviving a grocery run? Because you can't define it, you can never really achieve it. Spies, on the other hand, they do not train for fluency. They train for a mission. So instead of saying, I want to be fluent, you need a specific, totally winnable target. Something like, by Friday, I can walk into a bakery in Paris and order a croissant and a coffee without switching to English. Boom, that is a highly visible finish line. It tells you exactly what vocabulary you need, and honestly, what you can just completely ignore. Okay, moving on to phase 2, core building blocks. This is all about acquiring high ROI vocabulary and structures. Now that we've got a mission, we need to gather our supplies. We're focusing on acquiring the exact, highly pragmatic building blocks you need to actually pull off your objective. And the math here is honestly fascinating. You absolutely do not need to memorize the 10,000 words in a dictionary to speak a language. The reality? Just 1,000 common words power roughly 80% of everyday conversation. Think about your daily life in English for a second. You recycle the same words constantly, right? Want, need, go, have, where. So this 1,000-word list becomes your immediate treasure map. If you simply pull up the 1,000 most common words in your target language and learn those first, you bypass years of useless vocab and get straight to the stuff you'll actually use on day 1. But listen, we don't want to just memorize endless lists of isolated words because your brain will just quickly delete them. And instead of agonizing over tedious grammar tables, which no one likes, you want to use sentence templates. Think of these like Lego blocks. You take a single, sturdy frame and you just snap on a different ending. So mastering just one phrase, like, I would like blank, please, suddenly unlocks hundreds of real-world scenarios. You can ask for a coffee, the check, a window seat, or directions, all without needing to learn any complex new grammar. You're working with your brain's natural tendency to remember chunks of info, rather than building sentences from scratch every single time. It's a total game changer. And that leads us to our next hack. Take the free points. If you speak English, you already know hundreds of words in languages like Spanish, French, or Italian. We call these cognates. Information becomes información. Important is importante. They look and sound almost identical because of shared historical roots. Basically, it's a free starter pack of vocabulary. So why work harder than you have to? Grab a list of cognates and instantly boost your word count with literally 0 extra effort. All right, let's roll into phase 3, the immersion bubble. This is the cheat code for 24/7 exposure. This right here is the absolute cheat code for picking up a language continuously. And the best part? You don't even have to buy a plane ticket or move across the world to do it. See, the fastest learners surround themselves with their new language 24/7. Since you can't just drop everything and move to Tokyo or Rome, you're going to create a personal immersion bubble right at home. Step 1, switch your phone's system language. Yeah, okay, it's going to be annoying for like 2 days, but that confusion is exactly where the learning happens. Step 2, rewatch your favorite shows, but this time, turn on the target language subtitles. And step 3, rebuild your social media feeds. If you're super into fitness, follow fitness creators who speak your target language. Because you already know the context, your brain will naturally start filling in the vocabulary gaps. And this isn't just some fun internet trick. There's actual hard science backing this up. Renowned linguist Stephen Krashen calls this comprehensible input. The core idea is that you grow the fastest when you're exposed to material that is just slightly above your current level of understanding. So not completely overwhelming static, but just enough of a stretch to make your brain work a little bit. By immersing yourself in familiar topics through your phone and your social feeds, you are quietly training your subconscious all day long, and you never even have to open a textbook. Moving right along to phase 4, rehearse, shadow, and speak. It's time to move from the mirror to real humans. Okay, so now that we're properly equipped and our immersion bubble is completely set up, it's time to take these new words out of your brain and actually put them into your mouth. This is where the rubber meets the road, folks. But here's the thing. The biggest mistake people make is trying to speak their new language for the very first time in front of a stranger. No way! That is way too much pressure. Before you ever speak to a native speaker, practice by talking to the wall. Seriously, just narrate your daily life out loud as you move around your house. I'm opening the fridge. I'm looking for my keys. When you inevitably get stuck on a word, and you will, that is pure gold. You've just discovered exactly which practical, everyday words you are missing from your vocabulary. Remember, your mouth is a muscle, and it needs physical reps before showtime. Eventually, though, you do have to talk to a real person. When you finally hop onto language exchange apps, whatever you do, don't just say something vague like, I want to practice. That leaves the other person completely guessing on how to help you. Instead, give them your specific mission. Confidently say, hey, I'm preparing for a trip in 6 weeks. I need to practice ordering food, and please correct my mistakes. You see, most people are just too polite to fix your errors, but by explicitly giving them permission, you turn awkward, embarrassing mistakes into incredibly valuable data that makes you instantly better. Now, if you actually want to sound like a local, you've got to train your accent. To fix it, we use this brilliant method called shadowing, which was popularized by polyglot Alexander Arguelles. Here's how it works. You take a short audio clip of a native speaker. First, just listen. Next, talk along in real time, trying to perfectly match their pitch, their speed, and their rhythm. Finally, record yourself and fix the gap. This physically trains your jaw and your tongue muscles to produce foreign sounds on autopilot. It completely bypasses that slow, clunky translation process that happens in your head. Finally, let's tackle phase 5, win the mental game. We're talking memory, plateaus, and resilience. Let's be real for a second. Here is the raw truth. You can have all the greatest tools, the best templates, the most perfect immersion bubble, and you will still quit if you lose the mental game. First up, we have to conquer memory. Your brain is highly efficient, meaning it naturally deletes information it doesn't think it needs to survive. So you kind of have to trick it. You must use spaced repetition. This basically means reviewing a word right at the exact moment your brain is about to forget it. By doing this, you're sending a powerful signal to your subconscious that this specific vocabulary actually matters, forcing your brain to move it from short-term memory straight into permanent long-term storage. But what about those incredibly stubborn words that just won't stick? For those, you build a memory palace. See, your brain is terrible at remembering boring lists, but it has a near infinite capacity for vivid, weird imagery. Let's say you want to remember the Italian word for chair, which is sedia. Don't just write it down 100 times. Picture the pop star Sia, in her giant black and white wig, standing on a chair right in your living room, belting out a song at the top of her lungs. A singing chair named Sia for sedia. It is completely ridiculous. And you know what? Because it's so utterly ridiculous, it's totally unforgettable. Now, as you go on this journey, you're absolutely going to hit plateaus. You'll have days where you feel, quite frankly, incredibly dumb. But don't stress, that is just the sensation of your brain rewiring itself. Always remember that motivation is exactly like the weather. It's unpredictable, it's fleeting, and you absolutely cannot rely on it. Discipline, however, that's a choice. It's carving out a small, protected block of time, even if it's just 20 minutes every single day, no exceptions. That small daily effort compounds massively over months. Meanwhile, a giant 3-hour cram session once a week, that's just going to evaporate. So as we bring all of this together, redefining fluency really comes down to realizing it isn't one distant, impossible mountain that you have to summit. It's not some magical state of being. Fluency is simply a stock of successful, real-world scenes that you've conquered. You successfully ordered that coffee? Boom, you were fluent in that moment. You asked for directions without getting lost? You were fluent for that scene. It's just 100 small, successful missions stacked right on top of each other. And you absolutely have what it takes to do this. Well, you now have the playbook. You know the hacks, the shortcuts, and the mental frameworks to completely bypass years of frustration. So to leave you with a final thought to kickstart your own journey, what is your very first mission going to be? Like, what exactly will you say? Who will you say it to? And by what date are you going to successfully complete it? Pick your target, start building those daily habits, and I'll see you in the next explainer.